Yeah, I'm just really thankful that you said yes to this.
Yes.
We've reached out to a few other people and we've learned I don't know if you know our story at all. My husband had cancer. Um, yeah, stage 3 colorectal cancer.
Wow.
And we had 5 kids at the time. I'm actually pregnant with our sixth.
Congrats.
Thanks. Anyway, totally wrecked our world, but through he ended up denying chemo and radiation, and we were like, you know what? We need to figure out every single root cause,
Yeah.
why he was only 33 years old at the
Wow.
time, and it's like, how in the world did this happen? So, anyways, through our research, we found the knowledge of parasites, and
Yeah.
we never did any like ivermectin or fenbendazole, which is kind of a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
But
It's on the trend.
it is a trend. So, but we're just like, you know what? God gave us herbs from the ground. And so we did a plant-based diet. So we're like, that's
Yes.
what we feel like a conviction towards. So let's just stick with so he took wormwood and he eats pumpkin seeds every day, all those things. But when we found your kit, I was like, bingo.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. So
Well, I'd love to talk about like all of the things that you can do stage wise as far as be proactive and continuing, even using the synthetics. I call them synthetics because the word ivor and
yeah,
fend and mend will actually get you in trouble on, I don't know how some people can get away with it and some can't. I'm one of them
right,
ones that can't.
right.
But I would love to be able to make talk to you more about what you guys can do with it and then also how you can utilize those things with herbs because it is important to be able to have both options
Yeah,
but also have the knowledge
yeah,
of both of those options. You can't just go in and take the ivor. You have to go in and do some heavy metals with it, which is why I brought in the cilantro and metal flush,
yeah,
but you also have to bind. And when I see all of these things happening right now with people, I'm like, why aren't you telling everyone to bind? Like, even Mexico, they have HCQ and they take it with the Ivor. And that's because it's a binder for your water retention and your blood. And that's what they're in. They're in our blood, our tissue, and our muscle. And so you're going in and you're help squeezing out
mhm,
your veins to cause the water retention to come out, which makes them feel inhospitable and they leave with it.
yeah,
So you can't just go in and take something. You have to bind because they're
yeah.
dropping, they can hold 6 to 8 times their weight in spores, heavy metals, and other viruses
Wow.
and eggs. And so I never had Epstein-Barr virus. I did a parasite cleanse. I didn't bind. And guess what?
Mhm.
I had mono for like a year and a half because of it.
Uh,
So really it's so important when you're doing a parasite cleanse of any kind. And taking Ivor is a parasite cleanse. It's an anti-parasitic. Fend is a parasite cleanse. It's an
right.
anti-parasitic. It's what they give people in like Mexico and other countries that actually do this. That's what they give them.
Yeah.
And they also say take a binder, take some charcoal. And so it's such a hot topic and it gets me heated
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, like you're listening. We're all like, we really need to use herbs. We really need to cleanse, but you have to do it right.
Yeah.
Like you have to, or you'll make yourself sick.
Yeah. And your kit makes it so easy.
So easy.
We have done a few other kits, parasite cleanses we won't name, but they did not come with a binder. And I didn't
Yeah.
know that at the time. Thankfully,
Same.
we didn't have any horrible reactions, thankfully.
But
But
that you knew of. I think that
well,
that's the
true.
part that people
True.
don't realize that just because you're not having a reaction doesn't mean it's not dumping the heavy metals that they're holding.
Yeah.
So it's like a bucket. And when you flip that bucket over, everything in the bucket's going to go with it.
Yeah.
And if you're able to then have another bucket, which is your
Yeah.
binder, underneath that one, you're going to catch it and then you're going to be able to dispose of it.
Right.
People don't realize that they could be causing themselves more harm even if you don't have a reaction because you don't know what they're holding on to. You
Yeah.
don't know what virus that they've held on to for potentially decades,
Sure.
right? Because they're encased, so they're in a biofilm.
Mhm.
And in that biofilm, it's hard. So think of
Yeah.
like an egg. And when you crack that egg, everything inside of that egg goes whoosh, right? Well, the biofilm is the shell of the egg. And
Mm.
so you can go in and have something like Ivor, which doesn't always break the biofilm, but
Yeah.
it does to a point where they're gonna like release their eggs and release all the contents inside of that hard shell. And so when I was on this journey that I had no idea, this is not what my healthcare degrees are in. I specialized in endocrine and neurology, not parasitology.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually left urgent care because I did not like parasites. I hated lice. I hated scabies. I hated worms. And then, bam, one day I became worm queen. Here we are.
Yeah.
So, my name is Kim Rogers, and I'm known as the Worm Queen, and I worked in Western medicine since 2004. I hold two healthcare degrees. I was valedictorian in both of my healthcare degrees. My first one is an associate's in medical specialties, and my second one is healthcare management. I ran 25 healthcare colleges for a allied health program. I wrote their curriculum and I created the campuses for them. So I'm very good at doing things from afar. And in 2019, I became very ill and I got all of our life together, me and my husband. It's just the two of us. And we moved out to our recreational property to build our log home, just the two of us. And I realized how sick I truly was
Mm.
and I could not get any help. I had stage 4 endometriosis and beginning stages of cervical cancer, and I had a hysterectomy when I was 29, and I had 5 surgeries still after that. So I've had a total of 13 surgeries in my life since I was in my early 20s because they could not get my endometriosis under control. And I was told that I needed to just live like this.
Mhm.
And I did not find that acceptable. I had a lot of my colleagues who I became really good friends with basically abandoned me as my health just started to deteriorate even more. So Jeremy and I basically got our affairs in order and we decided to try and figure out what was wrong with me on our own. And we said our goodbyes to each other because we just knew that we were going to be in basically a fight for our lives to keep me alive. And so we went out to our little area called Hoodsport. And that's where Mrs. Rogers Hood comes from because we would
Hey.
call it the Hood.
Yeah.
We moved into a travel trailer onto an acre of our land and we started to build a log home. My husband had started watching me really decline even more, so we took a pause on our build and we learned how to grow mushrooms in order to like help my brain.
Yeah.
And I started researching into turkey tail, which I do recommend your husband taking turkey tail
Yep.
5 grams a day every day for the rest of his life,
Okay.
as well as lion's mane, because lion's mane actually will drive the turkey tail through the brain and allow it to heal more. Turkey tail has been proven time and time again by non Western medicine countries that it will break down tumors. And they give it to patients that are on chemo meds because it helps break the tumor down. And it put me into remission because I had endometriosis and adenomyosis, which is basically a scar tissue disease that makes tumors.
Mhm.
And so I realized how like powerful mushrooms were. And so
Yeah.
my husband took a break from our log home build to grow us mushrooms.
Wow.
And then in around 2021, I still was not at the optimal level I wanted to be at. And so I was scrolling on TikTok with purpose, and I came across a girl's TikTok that said that she had done a parasite cleanse. And she goes, I almost unalived myself over worms.
Oh.
And so I thought, oh, maybe this is what's really going on with me. I thought a
Ah.
few years ago I had worms. My doctors all said, no, there's no way. I had some abnormal tumors in my body. I almost got like a bunch of different types of um, cuts. Like they wanted to go in and biopsy everything, and by the time they got to it, the it was gone. And so I thought that was a little strange. And I said, well, could it be like pinworms or something? And my doctor's like, no, there's no way, Kim. You're an adult. You don't have pinworms. And so I kind of remembered starting, like, I remember this. And so I also had found a document a few years before that talking about how parasites are the same as an endotumor. And so I started to kind of put two and two together. I did a cleanse, and within 3 days, I saw I had pinworms, I had flukes, and I had roundworm. And now I know I also had cryptosporidium parvium, which is parvo, which starts to shut organs down. And it was all prior to this contamination of our water at the property we were living at,
Mm.
but it was prior to, like, I now know that I have parasites, mold, and Lyme in my body
Wow.
from my own research.
Wow.
I researched all of this myself. I have had one doctor who's now one of my really good friends help me in the research, but this is something that I had to find on my own. And so I did a video and it went really viral on TikTok. I had 1 million people watch it in 2 hours,
Oh my.
and 10.5 million people have watched it to date, and 40 to 50 million people watch my account on any given month.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. And how are you now? How are you today?
I mean, I'm doing well. Like in December of that year, I realized there was a need, and so that's when I started RogersHood Apothecary, was to be able to make my own tinctures. And I thought, "Ugh, even if I don't sell a single tincture, I'll have like a lifetime supply
Yeah.
of parasite cleanse.
Yeah. No.
So I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And we have done this every day since July. I have never taken a day off.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Of parasite cleansing.
yep.
So there
So that's
doesn't
what
need to
made
be a
us.
break in between.
What was that?
There doesn't need to be a break in between.
Well, I mean, as far as like teaching people about their
I
bodies and
I
cleansing, I've done this,
yep.
but you should take sometimes at least a 7 day break in between cleansing. So I've cleansed the first year of all of this. I cleansed every day and I didn't take a break. I cleansed with Ivor, I cleansed with Fend, I cleansed with Mend, I cleansed with albuma. I've cleansed with everything. And so that's how I really do know exactly how you should use synthetics in with herbs,
Sure.
is because I've done it all. Like as soon as my husband and I found out that our water was contaminated with parasites
Yeah.
and that in fact we had them in our bodies, we just started going gangbuster. It was like, I'm sure how you guys, when
Oh
you
yeah.
found out that was going on with your husband, you immediately took to everything. You're like, I'm doing it
Yes.
all. I'm doing
Yeah.
everything because I'm not leaving any stone unturned,
No.
and looking back going, God, I wish I had figured that out.
Mhm.
Like, why not try it all? And so
Right.
that's kind of where my husband and I were at, because I was so sick.
Mm.
I was so sick. And a year into this, I did find out we were living in mold, which we would have never even known that we were living in mold while building our log home if we had not gone through the parasite cleansing. And mold will like unalive you, man. It is
Yeah.
nothing to mess with. So it really is a lot of people's root cause to their chronic illness is a parasite.
Yeah.
You just don't realize what it could be because of the fact that we've been so indoctrinated by Western medicine. And I believe Western medicine needs to be here. It is a life-saving prevention for us, but it's not here to heal us. It's
Right.
not here to hold your hand and tell you, listen, there are three things that could be your problem: parasites, mold, and Lyme. Let's knock those out of the way first,
Mhm.
then come in and look at what else it could be. Environmental toxins are real. We
Yeah.
have problems with them in the type of cesspool life we all have because they're everywhere. And so it's like, why not eliminate some of those factors before you go and have like what I had, which was a life altering surgery that I can never have children. And so it's like, let's go in and see what else this could be and basically try it yourself. Like that's kind of where our medical freedom should be.
Yeah, and we found it frustrating. It was very hard to find. We had to go to Mexico. We went to Hope for Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
to find a doctor that was going to investigate mold in our home and investigate what parasites were in our body, help us to find these root causes. My husband
Yeah.
had two infected root canals that
Wow.
and one was his front tooth and the back
Oh.
molar. He pulled them out and they cleaned it with ozone and
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's it's not common
Right.
practice. They are helping you treat symptoms,
Yep.
not discover the root causes. And so it's hard. When we came out of the oncologist office after the diagnosis was like handed to us, Zach said, if I can find out what caused this, then I
Yeah.
can find out what's going to cure this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't know what cancer was. We were clueless, but
Yeah.
God really just put it on his heart, and now it's become our mission. So,
Well, I have a huge suggestion, not just turkey tail for you guys, that your whole family should take it because there's obviously something that could be causing
yeah.
issues and your household shares the same microbiome.
Mhm.
So you want to be like conscientious of that. But I suggest going to Dr. Juliana Giles.
Okay.
She's in my profile.
Okay.
She does Zooms. She's here in Seattle. She's my personal doctor, but she's an oncologist, natural doctor, and she's
Okay.
very rare.
Wow.
And her love for mushrooms is
Huh?
almost more than mine.
Oh, wow.
So she did specialties in college. So she's an
Okay.
ND, and her different certifications are in like essential oils and in ketamine therapy,
Mm.
and also in Lyme and in mushrooms. And so she doesn't take insurance, but she's not super expensive.
Okay.
And she'll spend a good hour or so with you guys. So she'll sit with you. She's just amazing. And anybody that ends up talking to me that they've had cancer, I send them to her because she is an oncologist. Like that was one of her specialties that she went in, and she helps people, one, that are on chemo and what they can do to save their organs because chemo is so damaging,
Right.
but also how to prevent and to follow you.
Mhm.
So when you are going through it or you're just wanting to be now preventative, she's the one to go to. She has saved me, and my whole family sees her.
Wow. Wow. Okay. She's in your bio?
Yep, her name is Dr. Juliana Giles, and she's with Neuroveda Health.
Okay.
And
Okay.
anybody in the Neuroveda can help you, but her specialty is oncology. So
Yeah.
I actually went to an oncology facility, and that's how I found her to
Oh.
treat my endometriosis because I couldn't get any help with Western medicine. And so I wanted to know, well, if they can treat with herbs and things for cancer,
Mhm.
why am I not trying to treat my endometriosis like that? Because it sure is acting like that. It's shutting my body down, it's shutting my organs down. So
Mhm.
it's like, why not treat it very similar? I've been on chemo because of it twice
Mhm.
to put me into menopause. I'm in surgical menopause. So, like, why not treat it the same way? And here I am now since 2019. I haven't had to have a surgery after I had 13 of them.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Have you researched anything of, well, the bacteria is called Fusobacterium?
Uh-uh.
No, that just Google and then
Okay.
go down the rabbit trail, but I can email it to you. The words Fusobacterium, and that is one of the major causes of endo. It's a
Well, and that's probably why it's a fungus. Fearsome or
Fuso,
fearsome? Fearsome.
Fuso.
FU. Okay, well, I want to save that I just found because that's pretty nice. Okay, what is it again?
Fuso
SO.
bacterium.
Okay. So maybe that's why I've done so well because, or people that have endo do so well on our kit because in one of my tinctures, it's called Sustain.
Mhm.
I use usnea, and I'm going to look at this
Oh yeah,
bacteria against usnea because
yeah,
usnea is Mother Nature's doxycycline, but it's also antibacterial, and
yeah.
so is Oregon grapefruit. And I do so good. We've actually had multiple people get pregnant right after doing our kit that couldn't get pregnant for years,
That's
years that had endo.
yeah. Yes. So one of the major causes of endo is Fusobacterium, and it's the same with colon cancer. And actually, it starts as a dental pathogen.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
dental thing. I'm constantly, well, I use ozone in my water pick. Do
Yeah.
you guys have an ozone machine?
No,
Okay, girl.
I
We
know.
were meant to talk today. So you need to go to Thurisage. They
Yeah.
have an ozone machine. It's $100. It's worth
Okay.
every penny. Get the attachments. It's 88 more dollars for the add attachment.
Okay.
And you actually use that for cleaning your produce.
Yeah.
And with the attachment, you can make your own ozone water,
Uh,
put it in a water pick, and every day put it on your teeth. Every day. So it'll last 72 hours in an Auburn, like the glass jar, put it in the fridge if you don't want to make it every day.
oh.
I suggest doing it every day and also cleaning your produce in it
Okay.
because our produce has so much bacteria and pesticides that's really hard to get it clean. And I have like a recipe that you can do, and then you follow it up with the Thurisage. They
Mhm.
have an affiliate program. They're amazing.
Is this
Robbie and
the sauna company?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
PEMF mat. They have an ozone machine. It's called a bubbler.
Okay.
They have a little machine that helps demold your air. So like when we travel, I put it next to my bed and it helps get rid of any potential mold spores around me.
Okay.
I have their sauna and I have their PEMF mat is to die for. They have red light.
Yeah.
Like their daughter had Lyme and died of Lyme.
Oh.
Yeah, she started this company and they like went and found all of these solutions for her.
Mhm.
But their biggest and their best modality is their ozone bubbler.
Okay.
And you put your produce in there, you can clean it that way, and then you can also make your own ozone water and ozone oil. And they give, so you have to buy the two different things though. They have an ad attachment and then they have the actual machine. The machine is this big. Like
Okay.
it's so small. Everyone in my family has one.
Wow.
It's just the smartest thing that we could do for ourselves when we have all of these issues. And so, excuse me, you can actually make the water and put it in a water pick. You can make it and swish it. You can do ozone enemas. Like there's so many
Oh.
things that you can
It's,
do
do
with
you do
it.
ozone enemas?
I don't, but Sam, my best friend, does, who's my co-host for our podcast.
You are going to be so fascinated when you start researching fusobacteria. I'll tell you another thing. My periopath is you can find a dentist that will do, it's called My Periopath at Oral DNA Labs, and you can go and check for 11 different dental pathogens. So I had Zach do this before his root canals came out because I wanted to know what bacteria is in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Compared it to the tumor, Fuso, in his mouth and in the tumor.
Wow.
So
That's
that's
wild.
like, yeah.
Will you send me that link?
Yeah, oral
Okay.
DNA lab, but you would want you can find a dentist near you who will do the MyPeriopath. So
My periopath.
yep,
Okay.
you would just go to that dentist. It's not even our dentist. Like I would just called them and I was like, "Will you do this test before my husband gets his root canals out?" They thought we were
Yeah, because it's
crazy.
traumatic. I was on chemo because of endo. I had an eating disorder, and that's all they knew what to do with me when I would come in. And I had the worst pain, like the worst dental pain. And like, what else can you do? No Western medicine or Western dental even will
No,
touch this. And
no.
it's really a sad thing. So you guys had to Google all of this. We had to Google who could test our water
Mm-hmm.
because we have parasites in our water.
Yeah.
Well, Seattle does too. I live in Seattle now, but our log home property also has parasites in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Wells have parasites. Like it's just wild that we don't have any way of actually like doing any testing. And I'm really working hard to get in front of the right people in order for us to be able to get accurate, available, affordable parasite and mold testing.
Yeah,
Like it's so silly that you get tested and then it has to go to Mexico or you get tested and it
I
has to go
know.
to somewhere in Europe. We live in the United States. It's 2025. Like let's get going. Like this is ridiculous, you know.
No, why
Like
are
we
we?
all see you stalling. Like we all see the cartel and mafia of the the big techs and we see you stalling. But we all know. We all know.
We're figuring it out too.
Yeah, I mean it's
There's
yeah.
a
Here.
whole movement of people. We're figuring it out on our own.
Oh, yeah, you might as well join us because we're all going to come against you. Like, that's how I feel. Because
I'm not
every
going to be able to put
podcast
this
I'm
on
on,
YouTube.
yeah, I'm like, come on. Like, let's, like, really, like, some random chick on the internet that now has a title called Worm Queen had to do this? Like, come on. Like, for real. I mean, it just really is at the point now where I'm 4 years into this and I know I'm getting put in front of people that are of importance and I'm ready for it. Like, I have got all of it all written out of how we can do this. But wouldn't it have been nice for some of this to be available for your husband and to be like, it's not parasites, it's not molds, it's not Lyme. What else could it be? Okay, instead of all of the time that we're spending doing all this other research, like at least knock some of that off and say, for me, I know it was parasites, Lyme, and mold that caused me to have endometriosis and possibly this bacteria as well. But before they go in at 29 years old and do a life altering, I can never have children and didn't have children before on my body, you can't put that back in, right? You can't. So it's like, why? And now they're losing millions on me because I'm not doing anything with Western medicine. I'm on two medications and like, that's it. Like, would have been smarter.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm old school and I typed out some questions.
Oh, yay.
So I actually asked our Instagram audience for some ideas. And they're kind of there's 18 questions, so maybe just
Okay.
brief, maybe 1 2 minute on each question so we have time to squeeze them all in. But
Okay.
they're um they're not really deep. There's kind of surfacey questions. I think a lot of people were new to the idea of parasites who were asking the
Hmm.
questions. So maybe you'll get to just rattle them off. But the first one is, how can someone avoid die-off symptoms when they're cleansing?
You definitely want to make sure you're using a binder. So I recommend coconut activated charcoal. Our binder is called Cinnabon at RogersHood. It's Ceylon cinnamon and coconut activated charcoal. So those two together help with inflammation and also help with binding. A binder is a negatively charged herb and it's binding to a positively charged toxin. And so it's a magnet. It magnetizes out all the crap and it'll flush it out of your system so it goes into your poop versus coming out of your skin or your urine or other parts of your bodies. We've had people have them come out their eyes, their nose, their mouth, any orifice, because that's an escape route, including your skin. So definitely binding. Fulvic is a great binder. We like Fulvic in our world. We're actually looking at a binder that has less issues. So, like charcoal, you have to do it 2 hours
Yeah.
prior and after. There's a 2 hour buffer rule with charcoal. So we're working on another binder. I like Cellcore's biotoxin binder. It's a fulvic, so you can take it anytime.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was when, so Zach and I have both done this cleanse, your ParaFy cleanse, and we know
Mm-hmm.
that that has a binder included. The hardest
Nice.
The hardest part of the whole thing, of the whole cleanse, was making sure we didn't have any supplements or eat anything. So we would just do it right before bed. So we would start our fast and then take the binder right before we went to sleep. So we knew it was on an empty stomach. But
Nice.
we call our detoxing pathways in our home our chimneys. So our
Oh, that's smart.
can understand when they're sick, we want to make sure all the chimneys are open so everything can come out. And if your chimney's clogged, what's going to happen to your house? It's going to fill with smoke.
Oh, that's so smart. I like that.
It's going to be hard to breathe. It's going to, I mean, filling with smoke is in a house is not great. So, we always say make sure your chimneys are open. So,
Yes.
yeah. So what something that would help with detoxing, or the die-off symptoms would just be to make sure your detoxing pathways are open and your
Mm-hmm.
binder. Why should someone do this on an empty stomach? Your tinctures that you have,
Mm-hmm.
stain, parafy, and metal, um, they need to be on an empty stomach away from other supplements and food. Is that correct?
Well, that's what we recommend. And that was just to kind of give people some guidance, but you can really just take them whenever. We've changed our directions just a little bit specifically because of that. So,
Yeah, make it easier. Okay.
yeah,
Um, Can you do a parasite cleanse while on a lot of other supplements? And this, our audience, mostly people with cancer. And so when you have cancer, you're taking a lot because you hear of a
right,
treatment like black seed oil cures cancer. I'll drink the bottle. So
right.
a lot of times people are taking a lot of supplements. Can you do this, or do you recommend pulling back for 30 days on some other supplements? Or,
Well, we recommend doing it as long as you're not on chemo meds or blood thinners. If you're on chemo meds, you want to wait because the chemo has changed your blood. And so you kind of want to let it get back to normal. And wormwood thins the blood. And that's why we say no blood thinners or chemo meds because wormwood can actually change the structure of your blood.
okay, wormwood. Okay. That was
Hmm.
actually the last question. Can you do this while on blood thinners? So,
No, unfortunately, some people have, but they monitor themselves and they're on a very small dose, but legally because we have a business, we actually have to say no because of wormwood. So you can do your own research to keep your own medical freedom.
okay. Can you do a, or is a parasite cleanse safe during pregnancy or nursing?
No, you can't do it while you're pregnant or nursing, and we do recommend not under the age of 3, and that's also because of wormwood in Oregon grapefruit. So you can research that and decide if you want your family or your children under the age of 3 to do it. And breastfeeding is a pathway, and so they can actually leave that pathway. So we definitely recommend to research that as well, and you make the decision.
Okay. What or would these herbs also in the tinctures, would they also kill good bacteria?
So we've done really our best to make sure that it does not remove the good bacteria in the gut. We're not like an antibiotic that's going in and flushing out good and bad bacteria. We do recommend that if you don't have SIBO, to also look at a really good probiotic and cross-reference the probiotic with the herbs that we use. And we recommend doing that while you're on any sort of a cleanse because it can remove some of the good probiotic, but I did not use herbs that will go in and strip that.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned SIBO. Do you know
Hmm.
something that would help with SIBO?
SIBO, you have to be really careful of probiotics. You can take our kit with SIBO. We actually have helped and shown that SIBO can be less symptoms because of the herbs that we use. But when you have SIBO, you want to be conscientious of probiotics. It can actually feed the SIBO if you're not on the right probiotic.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I have a friend I may talk to you, send you a message because I have a friend who's suffering with SIBO and diverticulitis.
Oh, diverticulitis is really tough. My husband has diverticulitis. Dr. Giles, man, I will refer them to Dr. Giles. She is like the SIBO oncology gut expert for all things.
Okay. Okay. Does she do any testing?
She does.
Okay.
She does so much. Like at one point, my mom did like 26 vials of blood and she does the SIBO breath. And I mean, she knows how to bridge Western and Eastern together. So she's
Right.
really great.
Right. Okay. Would she, with my husband, when we said we're not doing chemo or radiation,
Hmm.
a lot of we had to fire two oncologists because
Oh.
they didn't want to have anything to do with us after that.
Right. They're
Uh,
pretty strict. They're kind of weird about it,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, we have one now that we love, but would she give the same kind of feedback, do you think? Like, or would she be okay with the fact that he didn't do chemo? That's fine.
She's going to be really good with it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
she comes from natural. She's a natural doctor,
Okay,
but she has a specialty of oncology.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that. Okay. How often should someone do a ParaFy cleanse?
3 to 4 times a year or with symptoms, or if you're eating questionably, if you are out traveling, if you're going in a lake, if you have a pet. So I recommend just standard 3 to 4 times, but you can do back to back cleanses with a 7 day in between.
Okay.
And a lot of companies and a lot of places have you do like 90 days. I chose 30 because once you get beyond 30 days, people just kind of stop. So I really wanted people to go in and actually do the kit.
Yeah.
So I chose 30.
30 days is so attainable.
It
Like
is.
you can, I think you lose the longevity in it when it's so long.
Yeah.
So, okay. Um, why would someone see an increase in mucus and blood in the stool whenever they start cleansing? That was a
Well,
specific
oh,
question.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Parasites can dislodge themselves to your muscle. in your tissue. And so the issue is that while they're dislodging themselves physically, they're pulling the blood and the tissue with them, right? And the mucus is what they encapsulate themselves in. And so parasites and environmental toxins are encased in a thing called a biofilm or mucus. And it's a hard shell. So what they're doing is it's an enter only, right? Because they want the nutrients and it's absorbing everything. So it's a hard shell. And you got to come in with something like we use, which is called lungwort lichen, and it breaks that biofilm. And so then they're exposed, and then you come in and you attack them with wormwood, Oregon grapefruit, usnea, all of these herbs that's attacking them to help pull them out. And so when they have the mucus, it could be candida, it could be that you're breaking down that biofilm and that they're able to kind of be exposed then, but they live and encase themselves in mucus and in biofilm.
Okay. Can you define biofilm for people?
Yeah, so it's just a hard shell that goes around environmental toxins.
Okay.
And I was on a podcast with Dr. Axe, and he actually talked with me a little bit about, cancer and what this all looks like. And so basically what happens is this biofilm causes your body to, and parasites cause your body to have stagnant cells. And that can then create abnormal cells developing around what the body is like. This is foreign. I don't know what this is. I don't understand why this is here. So it starts attacking itself and it starts to create a shell around it. And then the biofilm is created also by the environmental toxin. So now you've just created all of these things that nothing can penetrate. And that's kind of sometimes why they bring in chemo because it just kills everything.
Right, right. Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Can you explain the detox pathways and how to keep them open during a cleanse? I like how you talk about pee, poop, perspirate.
The three P's:
Yes.
peeing, pooping, and perspiring.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. You got to do those three things.
yeah.
You have to make sure you're peeing because you're trying to eliminate them. You have to make sure you're pooping because you're trying to get rid of them. And you have to sweat because that's where toxins come out as well. And a lot of us that have chronic illnesses, we don't sweat. I can go and run a marathon and not break a sweat. And so I have to always be working on that pathway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And dry brushing too can help.
Yeah, because it moves your
Before you
lymphatic
go.
system. You're in a consistent move of lymphatic system.
Yeah. Yes.
You're moving your cells.
Mhm.
Again, it goes back to that whole thought process that when cells remain stagnant, when something is inside of that cell causing it, whether it's a bacteria or it's a parasite or it's mold or it's a virus, it's making your cells not move. Our cells are meant to constantly be moving. There's like billions of them, and they're constantly moving. And when they stop moving, your body gets on alert and then it pulls all of the energy that it was supposed to have towards your kidneys or your colon. It stops that and goes, whoa, we all need to focus on why is this cell not moving? What is in this cell that's causing it to not move? That's when chronic illness starts. That's when your body starts to attack itself and you create autoimmune. It doesn't know what's wrong with it. So it goes from within because your body wants to heal itself. When you get a cut, it automatically starts to try and heal itself. Well, think about if you were to turn your body inside out. That's what your body's doing constantly. And it's constantly in defense, like the Atari game. Pew, pew, pew. It's constantly fighting invaders and it gets tired. And when it starts to get tired, your cells start to get stagnant. And when your cells get stagnant, that's when you have to start to be concerned.
Yeah. Yep. So we do a lymphatic where it's a vibration plate.
Nice.
Or if our kids are sick, they'll hop on it or
You need to add red light in front of that
yeah,
vibration
we
plate.
do. We do.
Biostacking is important.
Yes.
You also need to look into hyperbaric chamber oxygen therapy. I do that.
Basement.
What?
We have a chamber in our basement.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I have one in my house. I love it. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's so important because that's what oxygenates your cells, keeping your cells moving. The whole reason why at the end of our life that we are unalived is because of lack of oxygen.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. Anytime I post anything about hyperbaric chamber, one, it gets a lot of views, but two,
Hmm.
it gets a lot of hate. I'm like,
Yeah,
guys, this is oxygen. It's just high pressured oxygen. Like,
people just don't. I think that there's this part in our brains that just shuts off
ah,
when we start to teach people and tell people how to heal. It's a parasite, I think. It
yeah,
shifts them and goes, stop.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean,
wild.
something's keeping them from, I mean, tons of
Well,
people.
they're all frequencies. It's
Yeah,
a frequency. So
yeah,
if you look at like the way that our bodies are built, we're love, light, and frequency, right? And so when you have a frequency of a ailment, and this is all I did with my kit. This is like the secret sauce behind what I chose and why I chose what I did with the herbs and what how people going forward should look at when they choose a modality or they choose herbs or they choose a medication. What frequency do you have in your body that's the ailment? And then bringing in that frequency to shatter that ailment, like an opera singer singing and it breaks the glass. Her
yeah,
voice became the same frequency as the glass, shattering the glass.
yeah,
So all I did is, oh, there's heavy metals in our body. Cilantro has that same frequency. I need to shatter the ailment of the heavy metals.
sure.
So I brought that in.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, there's wormwood, there's Oregon grapefruit. All of these are frequencies of parasites. And so I brought that in. I also tell people that they should do something with like the Z app, which is also a frequency app that you can load for free on your phone and you can go through sequences. They have 1,400 sequences that you can go through, and frequencies will help also push cleanses and push any sort of ailment that you have going on in your body by raising your frequency to the homeostasis level that we're all trying to get to every day, by bringing up your alkaline levels, by bringing up your light level. All of those things are going to help keep you at where our bodies are trying to be, which is homeostasis.
Yeah,
And usually that's around 7 to 7.5. And so these frequencies lower that vibration. And so you can trick, biohack your body to bring the frequency back up to the homeostasis level.
yeah. Wow, that's
That's
really,
our purpose.
yeah,
That's why we're here. And it's the same with pH balance of our skin. So
yeah,
like I use 6.0 on my face because I know that's this skin right here is a different pH than your other skin. So you should be doing this as like a 6.0. And if you are very acidic, then you should be drinking a lot of alkaline. And you can find that through like a holistic dentist where they go in and they test your acidity in your mouth. I'm like a 6.5. So I'm constantly fighting my body to get me to the level of 7 to 8, right? So I'm drinking higher level of alkaline water to balance my body's pH of 6.5 to get me up to 7 to 7.5.
yeah. Wow.
That's biohacking.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing here.
yeah. I love it. Okay, can children also do the cleanse? But you had said 3 and up.
Yes, ages 3 and up.
Okay. Um, how many rounds does one kit get you? Is it like a month and a half?
It's a one person for 30 days. We give you around 40 to 45 days
Okay.
because we want you to either keep going and finish it at 40, 45 days, or you can actually use the rest of that tincture for 2 5-day cleanses over the full moon.
Oh, okay. Okay. How can you explain that really quick?
Yeah.
While it's a full moon?
Yeah, so I recommend just cleansing anytime, but they say to do it 3 days prior to the full moon because they meaning worms and parasites and environmental toxins, start to dislodge themselves out of your body. And then they hop on the serotonin river, which is flowing more fluidly in your body during a full moon. And so they eat our serotonin, that's our happy hormone, and that's why we all get a little crazy and we feel really sad during the full moon. But that's also why a lot of people just feel sad in general because they eat our serotonin, they live off of that. And so when your serotonin is running more fluidly during in your body during the full moon, they can hop on that and then just like create new communities in your body.
Yeah.
So you optimize, get more of them. That's why they say to do full during full moon is because you can actually kill more of them.
Yeah. So the ParaFy kit comes with a binder and 3 tinctures.
Yes.
But Gutty is an
Hmm.
optional add-on. Can you
Right.
explain why that would be important to add on? Zach and I both did Gutty
Did you like it?
before. No.
Did you get stuff coming out though?
Yes. I sent you pictures of what came out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was
Okay.
a lot.
So gutty is just four ingredients. It's psyllium husk, chia seeds, coconut activated charcoal, and bentonite clay. So what it does is those two, the clay and the charcoal, are negatively charged herbs that then go in and like create a magnet so that it's removing anything that's potentially inside of what the chia seeds and the psyllium husk is going in and removing. So your actual intestine is like 22 to 30 feet long. And you got to think of it like a conveyor belt, right? So each part of your intestine has its own purpose. And when it gets clogged up with guck and grime and mucoid plaque, it stops working in that area. So then you got to back up on one side, you got to back up on the other side. And so what you're trying to do is go in and pressure wash that 32 feet of intestine
Yeah.
and all the way down to your colon. And one of those things is called mucoid plaque. And mucoid plaque is just like the plaque that actually builds in your heart. It just builds on
Mm,
the rear.
yeah.
And so we eat so terribly in our country. And so what you're trying to do is push all of that out and
Oh, take it
everything
out.
that lives in that mucoid plaque. That could be parasites, that could be mold, that could be viruses. They're all living in that mucoid plaque because it's the best.
Mhm.
It's full of yuck and it's full of fecal, like or like poop, and it's full of all of it, right? And so you're going in and you're just really kind of pressure washing all of that out
Yeah.
so that you have a clean colon so you can start cleansing with the ParaFy kit.
Yep. And I would say I saw just as much come out during Duddy as I did cleanse. So I was like, whoa. Now we do coffee enemas.
Oh, good.
Helped flush a lot of things out.
Nice.
So you do the gutty, it's 3 days.
Yep.
Free
And then you
pack.
wait 4 days.
You pause for 4 days.
And then you start the 30-day ParaFy kit. And then in the midst of all of that, you can also do the fulvic soak, which I'm very well known for that because I have them swim out of my feet. And I have video showing the worms swimming in my water after I'd done my fulvic soak. And it's just another way to help your body and detox and help with die-offs and just help pull things out because they don't like fulvic. It draws them out and then it smothers them. And so your skin is your biggest organ and it's your biggest absorber. And so we have you do like a fulvic foot soak or you can do a full body soak. And so what ends up happening is it absorbs into your skin, it makes them feel inhospitable, and then they start to come out. And so for us, they came out of our feet because I only did a fulvic foot soak.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, we did do those as that as well during our cleanse. I'll just ask two more because I want to be
Okay,
cautious of your time. This is a specific question. Someone said, I just had a colonoscopy and I was told my colon was clean.
sure.
Did they not see parasites?
Well, they're in our blood, our tissue, and our muscle.
Sure.
So they're not going to see them. And GI doctors are not looking for parasites. They're looking for polyps. They're looking for abnormal parts of the colon. They're not in there looking at your liver for flukes. And some have seen them inside of your colon if you're really infested. But you've also just done a cleanse with that colonoscopy. And so this is the best time to actually do a ParaFy cleanse because you're cleaned out because of the colonoscopy. And so you've put them them in a sort of fear as well. And so they're retreating back in because you've starved them. You've done this, 24-hour fast with the different things you have to take to flush out your system. And so you've made them feel like, oh, we need to retreat. So then they retreat back in. But they're not looking for these things. They're not like well versed. And there's a few reasons why. One is malpractice. Like, we're not allowed when you have a license to go out of your scope of practice. And so the GI doctors are not just sitting there going, well, maybe we should put them on a parasite cleanse, even though it's not going to hurt anyone. So it really is kind of not in their thought process. And you're not going to always see them in your colon or in your stool. And sometimes when you do take things, it obliterates them. So, and they're microscopic. So there's like parasites that I had, which was crypto. My husband had D. fragilis, and then everyone's familiar with Giardia. You're never going to see that. It's a microscopic parasite.
Mm.
But the only ones that you can see are physical worms, which are nematodes, worm, like roundworm, flatworm, tapeworms. Those are physical worms. So there are two different types of parasites that you're looking at.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Um, Last one. What do you know about autoimmune diseases in the relationship with parasites?
I believe most autoimmune diseases, a root cause of it is a parasite and mold. I believe that environmental toxins are what is causing the epidemic in our country for autoimmune disease and for chronic illness. I believe that once you can get your body cleansed out from heavy metals, mold, parasites, candida, and you get a control over your candida, because candida is also a parasite. It's just an overgrowth of yeast, and yeast is normal in our body. But when it starts to overgrow, it can control your mind. And so I believe that once you start to cleanse out your system of bacteria and viruses, that you actually have a fighting chance to not have an autoimmune disease. I had every label possible. I had fibromyalgia. I had endometriosis, which has now been determined as an autoimmune disease. I had adenomyosis. You name it, I was labeled with it. And I am in a different level in my life where I'm not labeling myself with those things, but I also know that when my body starts to get tired and I don't feel well, that I need to go take some cleansing herbs, and then I need to go into a supportive, repairing type of lifestyle again, because I'm human and we all want to have a human experience. So I have an 80-20 rule. I do 80% of the things I can right, and I do 20% of the things to be a human being. And then I'm okay with it, right? Because I am being proactive, which we've been in a world of reactive.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Yeah, thank you.